they need to fix the roof. They need to make the adjustments. But they're asking for an entire community around the entire stadium. Like they want to have the ballpark experience like everyone else. $500 to $600 million, that's a lot. You better tell me how much you're willing to give before the government says, whatever to the schools.
But whatever.
Hey, Brandon talked about the Diamondbacks, so let's go to them because they're in the headlines as well.
They signed somebody?
They signed plenty of people this offseason. They
moves.
did well, but now I'm starting to understand one sliver of why they were aggressive this offseason, because this usually goes hand in hand with seeking money from the people. That's what he said, owner Ken Kendrick, talking about the team asking the public to pay for renovations to his home, aka his ballpark. D-backs ownership claims to be willing to put up hundreds of millions of dollars toward the final cost, but they also want local help. So Ken Kendrick said he actually insisted he's not trying to threaten anyone here. I'll give you some quotes. Ready? There is likely to be, in time, an expansion of our sport to a couple additional cities. Cities are letting MLB know their interest. Their interest in getting a team is specific. They would be happy with a brand new franchise, but they would certainly be happy, with, frankly, a successful existing franchise. It's not where we are spending time or energy. We may run out of time in Phoenix. We hope that won't happen. We're hard at it. We're continuing to have meetings. We've ramped up the dialogue in every way that we know how, and we'll continue to do that. Get ready for this quote. After all that I just said, that none of that was me. That was Ken Kendrick. I don't think in the world that we live in, threats are the right way to do business. I don't think threats are the right way to do business. We're community people. I've raised my family here. Derek Call, the CEO, has raised his family here. We're a part of the fabric. Our franchise is a part of the fabric of Arizona, and that's where we want it to be forever. That's the end of the quote. Now, I'll add what's going on in the brain. Give us our public money to renovate the ballpark, or we will threaten you with another city. Did those few sentences early on
threaten,
sound
they
like
don't
a threat?
work. But if you don't give me money, I'm leaving. Wait, what? It doesn't.
That was rough.
Here's the thing about this is, where would the Diamondbacks go? Oakland? Where would they go?
Nashville. They're all using the same cities that they bring up because there's
they were
expansion.
using Vegas and Nashville were the two. Well,
Milwaukee did this last year with their ballpark.
But the Diamondbacks last year had a thing where they couldn't open or close the roof because it was
broken.
In fairness, there are some renovations needed there, even
old,
from a few years ago. It does.
It does.
It's just the argument in Salt Lake. It's another good call. The argument from fans is, well, we gave you money initially to put this thing up. So are we just on the hook in the public forever, every 10-ish years to fix everyone's ballpark? Like, why is that their problem and not the problem of the people that own the team? Like, should the cities fix the local laundromat? Should the cities fix the local mall? Should the cities fix everything? Or just ballparks owned by billionaires?
All the owners are broke. You say it every day.
They are. Most owners, not all. Not the Dodgers. They're good.
Okay.
But Kratz, I don't want to go there, but I'm going to go there. It's a team that had a lot of success this past season. It's a fun team to follow. They just made the World Series. They went off a little bit this offseason. Like, they had a nice offseason. So did the Royals. What do the Royals and the Diamondbacks have in common?
New stadium, please.
They're asking for hundreds of millions of dollars.
They're asking for $500 to $600 million. The roof, the roof is broken. I get it. Like, they have to fix it or whatever was happening. It was too tough to close. Doesn't matter. That's like your kid coming up to you and being like, I got a flat tire. Can I get a new car? Like, they need to fix the roof. They need to make the adjustments. But they're asking for an entire community around the entire stadium. Like, they want to have the ballpark experience like everyone else. $500 to $600 million, that's a lot. You better tell me how much you're willing to give before the government says, whatever to the schools. We'll go ahead and just give it to the Diamondbacks. And where were you last year saying this when you guys didn't make the World Series? So they were trying to strike here while the iron's hot.
Wasn't Kendrick the guy who fired his TV announcer because he wore the wrong polo or something? On
No,
TV?
Darren Sutton had the battle, right? It was
Yeah.
Darren, yeah. Over the wardrobe. Yeah, I think Darren wanted to wear a suit sometimes, and he wanted to wear the team shirt, whatever.
Team shirt, yeah.
The point is, it's the same story with almost every team, and it's a hot story. Why? Because right now they are riding behind a villain who is the face. We'll be there on Saturday in Oakland, right? John Fisher's the bad guy, and he's actually leaving. So every other owner has leverage. They can go to a city and say, we'll leave. Oakland's doing it. Give us our money or else.
I got a great place they can move to, Arizona.
Nobody's moving to Orlando.
Well, here's my thing, though.
We'll take them.
Here's my thing, okay? We know this is going on, okay? That this is a hot time for owners to go to the city and get them to give up tax dollars to make improvements to the suites that they want to sell. That's one thing. It's another thing in my mind for certain people to continue to think that everyone is stupid. I'm not making a threat, but let me list out 3 paragraphs of threats. That's wrong. Don't talk like that, right? Like if someone spoke to you face to face and said something that mocked you or made you feel like you're stupid, right? Or they threatened you, would you accept it? Or would you say to their face, don't fucking talk to me like that? This is what I have a problem with.
The issue is it's a bully. It's a bully move because it's monopolistic thing. It's a monopolistic business that they're trying to now make more on. Like, I don't think they'd be fine if they up the taxes on everything that they put up, to 40%, all the buildings and all the they make in Phoenix. And don't try to just take care of this stuff in a manner that, hey, you know what? Over the next 25 years, here's our plan. How can we get this done? Instead of, well, everybody's doing it, so we're going to do it.
Oh, so everyone in the chat is saying, can't they take out a bank loan? Isn't there a rule where the teams can't take out a certain amount of debt? Didn't we have it? Like they can't just go
the debt financing rule that Bud Selig came up with, but they're not even close to that, most of these teams.
But what I'm saying is you
take
can't
out
go,
loans.
but can you go to a bank and say, I would need $1 billion loan? Because a lot of the soccer teams
not
do
$1
this
billion, I don't think. But you can take out money.
But isn't there a certain amount only they can get to? Because I'm assuming
You mean
most
like
of these
baseball
teams,
wise or like
to build a stadium. Because what I'm thinking is like,
America-wise.
okay, if they said, if Kendrick said, all right, I'll give $500 million and I need to go take a loan for $700 million. I feel like the $500 million that Kendrick, he doesn't have $500 million cash laying around. So he's probably taking a loan on that to start with. You don't see what I'm saying? That's why these teams need these public funding. Nobody has, I mean, maybe somebody does out there, but not a lot of people have $1 billion just laying around liquid. They can go, hey, I'm going to spend this on a stadium. They have to go get a loan on it from somewhere. Okay.
I'm the Dodgers owner.
Well, yeah, Guggenheim will do it for the Dodgers. But you see what I'm saying? So that's where I think this is kind of confusing because people think, oh, Kendrick, just write a bigger check. Well, no, he's just got to go get a bigger loan because he's not writing a check for $500 million. Because I know when you talk to, you talk to owners, you talk to people in the front office, they're like, well, we're paying off the stadium still. Like you hear that in sports sometimes, like, oh, we're paying off the debt on the stadium. They don't usually say that in certain terms, but I've heard them say it before. So that's what I think where people think, oh, just go get a bigger loan. Well, it doesn't work like that. There's not a lot of banks that be like, hey, we'll loan you $1 billion.
Mm-hmm. If they can get their teeth in a Major League Baseball team, they're going to loan. I mean, that's where they get all that money, private equity. It's coming through groups. So if they're going to put up $300 million, who doesn't want 10% share in a company that's going to triple in value in 10 years?
I agree.
I agree with that. But again, like I don't know of many banks that are like, I mean, yeah, we'll give you 10% if you give us $1.7 billion.
No, not that much.
Well, that's what a stadium costs. Stadiums are over $1 billion. If you're the Braves,
he's not getting a new ballpark though. This is a renovation.
I know, but I'm saying for new ballparks,
sure.
Like for Oakland, I'm saying Oakland going to Las Vegas, they want $600 million from the public fund, right? Well, Fisher said he'd give $300 or $400 million, didn't he?
Yeah,
right.
Vegas at the moment's paying like $380. See, what happens is the numbers that are public end up not being
They're
the
also
real
not the real numbers.
Because then eventually it's like, oh, the bill was double. Oh, the city will handle that. Oh, you don't have to pay taxes on this for 30 years. Like it ends up being insane.
No,
That's why this is a huge public issue. It's just not where the country should be spending money. And I love baseball, but like we can handle this ourselves. Because there's owners that come out, or there are potential owners that come out, especially like, again, going back to Oakland, Joe Lacob said, I will buy the team and build my own facility, right? With my money, private money, which has been done too. I'm pretty sure there's a few facilities in California alone that are built by billionaires. They own it all and they don't deal with the public for any money. It is possible. They can do it. You just have to get those alligator arms, push them all the way down into the pot.
But they don't also, okay,
Bring it
so
all
let me
the way
ask
out and say, "Ooh, look what I
but
found."
then will the owners use that as an excuse not to pay players? Oh, I have this big loan I have to pay back.
Again, remember the Pirates article from last night, Kratz? So in the Pirates article, in The Athletic, the expose, they needed $8 million in spring training renovations. And Bob Nutting said, this is your hard player payroll that you get each year, which is obviously bottom few in the league every year. And he said, this will come out of that. That's it. That's what he told the front office.
That's ridiculous.
They're like, dude, you're profiting a ton. It's $8 million. He's like, nope. I'm still going to take out what I want to take out from this business every year. That's on you. If you want to improve something that's, if the ceiling's falling, that's on you.
See, that's ridiculous.
That's true. It's in the freaking article.
I love that part of it because it was like I lived through that time. I lived through that time of not spending, and I knew what that weight room looked like. And all at the same time, the Players Association had a investigation or a gripe against, I'm not exactly sure how far it went, but the Pirates had to show that they were using some of that money that they were getting in improving the team. And you know how they proved that they didn't do anything wrong? Because they built a facility down in the Dominican that looks exactly like Pirate City. So at the same time, the big league weight room was just over 1,700 square feet. They built a $30 million facility down in the DR, which is now an asset for the Pirates. So they built a building that is theirs, not an improvement, a building that is theirs that someday they'll be able to sell for, more than $30 million. So they took that money and invested it in something that, yes, will help the organization develop, Dominican players, Venezuelan players at their facility, but it didn't improve the roster at all.
It's frustrating. So air it out in the chat. But
hey, everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.